Dave Carroll from Dope Marketing, and you're tuning in to the Only Roofers podcast.
Welcome to the Only Roofers podcast. My name's Elizabeth with my co-host Vince here.
Hey guys.
And we are interviewing Mr. Dope himself, David Carroll.
What up?
Welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
I'm excited now.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Not gonna lie.
Vince?
Yeah, I'm happy this is only in my face because I'm just pretty excited right now.
Things got awkward. I'm out of here.
A little bit. Let's go.
So, welcome. I want to ask you a little bit about yourself. So tell us a little bit about your biography.
My biography. So, born in St. Paul, Minnesota. I went to 9 high schools. I took out 3 student loans to sell drugs with. Ended up in prison for 4 years from when I was 21 to 25. And then ended up getting my life together.
What made you get your life together?
What's that saying for like the sober people, like sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Yeah.
We kept taking extremely huge financial losses in a previous unlegitimate business, and I was just like, I don't want to keep doing this.
Was it like a defining
Was there a
moment for you?
turning
Yeah.
point,
Was
or
it
was
like
it-
Yeah,
a?
so-
Did you like wake up one day
Or
and
like 4 years, you walked out, you're like, I'm changing.
No,
Yeah.
because I was still, like, for a year after that, I was still kind of fucking around and not, I can swear, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
only
great.
roofers, buddy.
Fuck. So, like, it was getting out, messing around, and just, like looking at where I was going. My wife got pregnant with our daughter, and I was just like...
Your
I'm not-
first kid?
Yeah, first. We have 4. So
that was the game changer.
yeah, and I mean, like, that was the transition into it. I was kind of on the way out, and I think that was like the sign from God that it
Right.
was like, this is time.
Did you change your mindset, or did you just change the business?
So
Ah.
I'll never be the dude that's like, yeah, you can be an entrepreneur because you were a shitty ex-drug dealer. Like, it doesn't quite work like that. I think it was more understanding that just like business is very relative, and like if you wake up earlier and go to sleep later, like you can actually be successful. I always knew I had a work ethic,
Right.
but I didn't know what direction to put it
Where
in.
to apply it?
Yeah, and so like the only job
Are
I
you
ever had-
ADHD?
I mean, they tested me a bunch when I was younger, and they say no. Ask anyone else, they'd probably tell you yes. But
I'm a doctor.
yeah, there you go, Vince. Diagnosis.
He made me a doctor one time,
Does
so
this mean I get medication for this?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Dr. Vince.
see me later.
For me, it was like I looked at, I'd never had a job before in my life. The only job I'd had is I worked at a window cleaning company when I was in a halfway house, and so we were like, what are we gonna do? I'm not gonna do what I'm doing anymore, so let's go start a window cleaning company. I've had that business. We provide a lot of other services now, but I've had that business for 12 years, been phased out of it for 6 years.
So what is your guys' client list like? And do you retarget that with maybe, do you have any other service companies locally besides windows?
So we do window cleaning, power washing, gutter cleaning. We added holiday lighting about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so it's just, I mean, it goes into like the roofing side of things too. It's also relative of like understanding who your perfect customer is, putting a message in front of them they care about, and just like, it's actually why we started Dope Marketing, because we understood so much, especially for the home service space. It was just like, this is all the same thing.
Were you doing things differently at that time than the other window
I
cleaning
wouldn't say
companies?
so my whole thing was like,
Man, you're not giving me anything to work with here.
Because you're asking the wrong questions. Here's the question, right?
No.
There's one thing I know about David, right? That no one else, they know, but they do different, right? They're chameleons, right? They're
Yeah.
the businessman there.
Yeah.
David's always David.
Yeah.
He's always
There's no
dope,
secret sauce.
right?
There's nothing
So, like,
good.
I'm-
Hey, you
Sorry.
have just
No,
because
no.
you
So
became- be a
no,
good
that's actually what I want to
entrepreneur.
hit on, right? Like, how do you really be yourself authentically?
Ooh, that's
right?
a good
But
one.
chameleon up here.
so like, you got to deal with the person you wake up and look at in the mirror every morning. And I just came to terms with the fact, like going back to my story of being incarcerated, it was like, you spend so much time by yourself in that situation. And like I explained this to my sons now, it's like the most developmental years in a man's life is from 21 to 25. You're out of the house, you're moving around, you're doing, and I was around fucking killers and rapists and horrible people. And I just got an opportunity to like really get to know myself and understand like, there's not another side. The relationship I have with Vince and with you, I'm like this with my mom, my kids, with you guys. And I think I'm very humbled that it allows people to trust, what we're doing in business, because
to connect with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's your sauce. Your
Yeah.
sauce is
Yeah.
people connect with me, they'll just buy whatever I want because this is just
You
me.
like you
You're
see
buying
what
Dave.
you get. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And
But
there's
he's
no.
but the cool thing about Dave is he chameleon on the mental level of talking to people, right? He talks to people on their level, right? So there could be big time CEOs that are going to do $100 million of revenue, right? And then there's the local roofer that's going to do $1 million or $500,000 revenue, and he's going to talk to them the same way. That's the difference
Very true.
that's what I sort of want to hit on is and ask that. How do you do that? Something you just grew up in? Is that just you? Or
Yeah,
is
like
that
I
something
wish I had a better answer for like it's not strategic. It's
I
not
wish you had more
planned.
better
Oh, so you're
answers.
not-
Yeah, exactly.
So
These answers are
I
just
hear
so
I was
fucking
thinking it was
great.
intelligence, but obviously just born this way.
Well, basically, I'm just a genius. Sorry, guy. Mic drop him out. I feel like if people took more time to understand what value they bring to the table, I think
Love
my
that.
value is transparency, is understanding like you said, what you see is what you get. If you can get to know yourself or understand just like what's your superpower, like what's
Yeah.
your strength, what do you do, or what are you better at? We all got the same 24 hours in a day. What are you a little bit better at, or what are you comfortable doing, or what value do you bring to the table, and then like empowering that and embodying that stuff. I think it's very important.
I love
How
that.
do you then take that and impart that into your organization and your staff?
Well, I think that has to be foundational. I think like when you start your business, I don't think it's something you're trying to figure out to do that. You have to be intentional. You have to look at like, I started my business to do this, or this is what the core values, this is the team that I want to bring around. I don't think it's an after effect or something you figure out later.
Right.
You might have to reflect and look at like, let's say you get in a position in your business and you're trying to figure this stuff out. I think if you can be reflective about why you started, what your core values are. Let's say you're in a position where you're scaling your business and you find yourself like, maybe these people don't fit in as much. Ask yourself like, why did I start this? Why am I doing this? And who are the people that I need to involve?
How do you get your team to align with your core value, which is transparency? Because that is not a core value. Like transparency for me, I'm like, vulnerable. No, like please,
Right,
no one
right,
look
right.
at me. No one get to know
That's what I
me.
love.
Yeah.
Like I need a huge shield. So how do you get an entire team, or is that even a company core value? It's just a self core value.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Just like it's life is based off communication.
Yeah.
And so if you can't look at your team and sit down and be like, you guys see the vision, you understand where we're going, what we're doing, but it's also reinforcing that, communicating with your team. Like, look, this is the path. This is where we started. This is where we're going. Every company has a different set of core values, but there's a reason that when Liz interviewed somebody for a job that they accepted the position.
Of course.
They believed in you, they believed in your business, and sometimes as business owners, like, we need to remind ourselves of that stuff. You get a little lost, and especially like both of your guys' businesses are scaling dramatically. We're in a similar position.
Yeah.
Where you just gotta kind of trust your gut as the owner, but it's important to like focus on the fact that people, it's not just us that was providing an opportunity. People chose to accept that position. Like they wanted to be there too. And I know for me, like I have to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
They gravitate to it.
Especially with like your background, because I come from a pretty, not the same background, but I come from a very difficult background, and a lot of contractors might as well, where you didn't grow up in trusting environments, right?
Yeah.
How do you build that trust when you come from a not so positive environment in life?
So like we're all parents, right? You
Yeah.
look at as a parent, it's like, what am I? We remember the good things our parents did, but
hell yeah.
I know me and my wife talk about like, what are the things we didn't have, or the things we didn't want, or things that we didn't want to. I would look at it the same thing. Like we got to start our business, or we got to like build this path for people, and so like I always thought about it like, remember the guy or girl in high school that had that great job and they like were making like 20, 30 bucks an hour, they had a credit card, they had a car, and I look at them like, how the fuck are you doing this? I always wanted to create that atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like that when people like, I see like some of the younger guys we have at our booth or whatever.
Yeah.
I want them to have a job that they go tell their friends, they go tell their family.
Yeah.
Like,
We were talking
I
about-
can't
traveled,
believe
yeah.
how dope this is.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There it was.
There you go.
Came out.
We were waiting for
One.
the
I was
dope.
actually,
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
That was like a record of
We're
that.
holding them back for Vince.
Me and you talk a lot. And we talked for quite a while. Weird, intimate times. But we were talking a couple weeks ago, and you talked about one of your sales guys and how he's really exceeding what you. But even for yourself, right? Like if you got 10 guys, you think you can close 10 of them,
Yeah.
but you think 70% is right usually, right? And exceeding, and I think that's more of a reflection of you, right? Is that for guys on the other side of the camera? How could they get that reflection of themselves out of their employees or their sales
Maybe
staff?
bring their
wherever?
best self into someone
Correct.
else.
Yeah, and it's just setting expectations. So like that conversation we were having, like it's not fair for me, the guy that started the company, to compare to a sales guy that's been with us, doesn't matter if it's a month or a year. If I can go 10 for 10, we're doing good if they're batting 5 for 10. Like I
Yeah.
can hire from that, I can scale from that. It's a realistic expectation. And so really
Realistically, it's about 3 or 4 per 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically,
Yeah,
that's a real number.
Unless you work for David.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think like setting realistic expectations, but it goes back to what you were saying, Liz, about like communicating, like understanding the level of communication to keep people, it's not like in line, but aligned with what you're doing.
Ooh. So not keeping people in line, more of keeping them aligned. I love that. Wow, that's actually, I knew you had it in you. I knew we were going to get it out. We had to get past the
pull it out.
Door flying open.
Yeah,
Chainsaw.
just woke you up.
Shades all got it. He's like, light bulb.
So any last piece of advice for another person like yourself or someone like us that's growing their company, looking to bring those aligned individuals? What are some methods of them just to put themselves on the right track mentally?
Remember why you started what you're doing. Remember that you can't be anything without the people around you, and it's your job to empower these people to do what you hired them to do.
Love that. Real as it gets. That's dope. Thank you
Thanks
so
for coming on,
much,
guys.
David. I appreciate your time. Thank you all for watching another episode of the Only Roofers podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you guys.